Today, we're going to read a news article together so you can fill your vocabulary with advanced expressions, learn correct grammar, and improve your pronunciation. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started.
First, I'll read the headline, Practical Ways to Improve Your Confidence and Why You Should. I'm sure you want to improve your confidence when it comes to speaking English in public. Is that right? And that's why I chose this article. Now, I like how they specified practical ways. What do you think of when you hear the word practical? A practical way. If something is practical, it means it's realistic, or the method, the strategy is useful or applicable in the real world. So a student might say, your friend could say to you, I want to improve my speaking skills, so I'll speak to native speakers for 5 hours a day, every day, and for free because I don't want to pay any money. Your friend could say, well, that's not practical. That's not practical. You don't live in an area with native speakers. How are you going to find these native speakers? 5 hours a day is a long time, so that's not practical. So we commonly use this in the negative, so you can just make it negative. Not practical, that is not practical, or you could say that isn't practical. There's two ways to form that contraction. A practical way to improve your English fluency, which will help you feel more confident, is to spend 30 minutes a day watching JForrest English lessons for free on YouTube like you're doing right now. So if you agree that that's practical, then put absolutely in the chat. So this article is on practical ways to improve your confidence and why you should. So notice this modal verb should, and why you should. If a verb came next, it would be the base verb because it's always modal plus base verb, and why you should improve your confidence. They don't need to repeat that because it's already stated. Now, the modal verb should is for a recommendation or a suggestion. Your friend, coworker, boss, parent could say to you, you should improve your English fluency. They're making a recommendation. So remember, modal plus base verb. Now, you should improve your English fluency. Do you agree with that suggestion? Again, if you do, put absolutely. If you haven't yet, put absolutely in the chat, in the comments. And don't worry about taking notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF to make this lesson even more practical for you, useful for you, because you can review the notes. You can find the link in the description. Now let's continue and learn about these practical ways to improve your confidence. Self-confidence is just one element in a triad of things. What's a triad? Triad comes from the word tri, T-R-I, which means three. Triad. So it would be a group of three things that make up our overall confidence. And notice that pronunciation, triad. Repeat after me, triad. Here's what you can do to boost yours. Of course, you know what boost means, right? Because you want to boost your English fluency, boost your speaking skills, boost your vocabulary, boost your grammar, all of which you'll do in this lesson. Boost means increase or improve depending on the context. In terms of your English fluency, it could mean both. You could say these lessons, these Learn English with the News lessons, these lessons help boost my overall fluency. So boost, of course, means increase, improve. Now, overall, I wrote the definition here. If you look at overall confidence, you're looking at all areas of it. So the entirety, the totality of it, not just one part. So for your overall fluency, it's all areas, which include grammar, vocabulary, speaking, reading, writing, pronunciation, not just one part, but the totality, overall fluency. Now, we also use overall as a transition word when you want to present information as a summary. So you could say, overall, this was a great lesson. So you're not talking about one specific part. You're talking about the lesson in its entirety or totality. Overall, this was a great lesson. We use this a lot when you're talking about, let's say, your weekend. You're saying the different things you did. And then to summarize, you can say, overall, it was a great weekend. So keep that in mind for your presentations to sound more professional for your IELTS. And if you agree with these two statements, then put absolutely, again, why not? Put absolutely in the comments. Self-confidence is your belief in how good you are at something, but it's not a measure of your actual skill. This is very important when it comes to your English fluency. Self-confidence in your speaking skills does not mean that you speak perfectly or you don't make mistakes or you don't have an accent, because it's not a measure of your actual skill. It's a belief in how good you are. This is a very important point to remember when it comes to your speaking skills or anything you want to feel more confident in. And notice here for sentence structure, you're good at something. So notice that preposition. The sentence structure is to be. So we need our verb to be. It's right here. You are. To be, and then adjective at something. So for example, she's excellent. So in this article, the adjective was good, but you can use any adjective, positive or negative. She's excellent. She is. She's excellent at. Now, because I have a verb, it needs to be the gerund verb because at is a preposition. She's excellent at explaining complex topics easily. Or you can use it in the negative, which is commonly done. He's terrible at communicating his ideas concisely.
Are you enjoying this lesson? If you are, then I want to tell you about the Finally Fluent Academy. This is my premium training program where we study native English speakers from TV, the movies, YouTube, and the news so you can improve your listening skills of fast English, expand your vocabulary with natural expressions, and learn advanced grammar easily. Plus, you'll have me as your personal coach. You can look in the description for the link to learn more, or you can go to my website and click on Finally Fluent Academy. Now let's continue with our lesson.
If you believe you can get your dream job. Get is very commonly used with a position or a client, a sale, or a promotion. I got the promotion. Now with positions, you can also use land. Can land your dream job. So in this case, land is a verb and it means get or achieve. Native speakers use the verb land a lot when it comes to positions, promotions, opportunities. For example, it would be very common for a native speaker to say congrats, which is the short form of congratulations. So repeat after me, congrats, congrats. And you congratulate someone on doing something, and that's why I have the preposition on and the verb in ing. Congrats on landing the new client. So land is a replacement to get, which means to obtain or to successfully achieve. Congrats on landing the new client. If you believe you can land your dream job, if you apply, there's a chance, however small, you might get it. So might is another modal of possibility. Now, if you say it might rain, it means there's a chance of rain, but you are not sure if it will rain. There's just the possibility. So you might get it. You might land it because it represents the dream job. So again, you could replace the verb get with land, and it's the base verb because it's modal plus base verb. Notice the article said there's a chance, however small. By adding however small, it means even if the chance is the smallest chance, a 1% chance, there's still a chance. 1% is still a chance, however small. So it's saying even though the chance may be extremely small, it still exists. The chance exists. If you don't believe that you can get it, land it, and you don't apply, it's guaranteed that you won't get it. And that makes sense because you didn't apply. So even though it's a small chance, it's still more of a chance because you applied. And in this case, you didn't apply because you didn't believe that you could get it. Self-confidence doesn't magically make you better at what you do, but it does prime you to take the risks necessary to achieve your goals. Now, notice here the same preposition, better at. These lessons will help you become better at speaking in English. And here you could use make you. These lessons will make you better at speaking in English. Let's look at prime, but it represents what? But self-confidence, having self-confidence, but it does prepare you, does prime you. So prime means prepare. What do you notice about this sentence structure? But it, remember self-confidence, but it does prime you to take the risks necessary. Well, prime is our base verb, and then does is being used as the auxiliary verb in the present simple. But grammatically, this isn't required because in the present simple, all you need to do is take your main verb prime and then conjugate that with the subject. Because the subject is it, in the present simple, you need to add that S or ES. It primes you to take the risks necessary. That's the standard present simple sentence structure. Grammatically, you can add the auxiliary verb do or be or have to add emphasis, but it does prime you. But grammatically, this isn't required. Native speakers frequently use this, so let me share a practical example. I could say, make sure you subscribe, and that is real. Make sure you subscribe. Now you may say, Jennifer, I subscribed. So you put your verb in the past simple. Now, to add emphasis, you can say, I did subscribe. I did subscribe. So you take your auxiliary verb do, and that's the verb you conjugate in whatever verb tense needed. In this case, it was the present simple, and in this case, it was the past simple. But the regular past simple sentence structure, you just add the ed to the verb, or it's an irregular past simple verb. So this one is only used to emphasize, Jennifer, I did subscribe. So again, make sure you subscribe. And if you already have, you can say, I did subscribe to add that emphasis. So now I see our first header, our headline, our header, which is the practical way to improve your self-confidence. Start working out. Now notice this is in the base verb because it's used as a recommendation. Start working out. This is the imperative verb tense. Many people start working out to lose weight or build muscle, but exercise can also be a huge boost to your self-confidence. Our phrasal verb is to work out. Notice in both cases, it's in the gerund form, and that's because it follows the verb start, which is a gerund verb. So you have your verb start, the gerund verb, and your next verb, in this case, to work out, is in ing. So that's why you see it in both cases in ing, but the verb is to work out, and then you conjugate work according to the sentence structure. Now, to work out, this means to exercise or to do exercises. So in this case, the verb is exercise, to exercise, but in this case, the verb is do, and exercises is a noun. Students commonly use these structures when they talk about their daily routine. Every morning I exercise, every morning I do exercises. Native speakers use the phrasal verb work out 90% of the time. So this is one area that if you instantly want to sound more like a native speaker, just use the phrasal verb work out instead of exercise or do exercises. Many people start working out to lose weight. Now notice here, weight. Don't confuse this with the verb weigh. How much do you weigh? Weigh is the verb here. How much do you weigh? Now, to lose weight, you need that T, and the pronunciation is exactly the same as weight, this verb, for pronunciation. I lost weight. This means you went from 180 pounds to 175 pounds. Even if you went to 179, you lost weight. If you went the other way to 181, you would gain weight. I gained, because that's the past simple, weight. So don't confuse weigh and weight. But exercise, notice here they're using exercise. This is more the category. Exercise, this is physical movement, whereas work out is the exercise that you do every day. So again, native speakers use work out to describe the exercise that they do, but then exercise is the concept. So I could say, I work out daily because I understand the importance of exercise for my health. So exercise is the concept, but then work out is the actual action. But exercise can also be a huge boost. We already know what boost means: increase, improve, to your self-confidence. But in this case, notice grammatically, it's a boost, and then huge is an adjective. So in this case, boost is a noun. A huge increase, a huge improvement, those would be the noun forms to your self-confidence. The American Psychological, notice the pronunciation, this P is silent, psych, and this is a K sound, psychological. The American Psychological Association has noted that exercise, again, the concept, that exercise can improve, boost your mood, and help combat depression and anxiety. Noted means observed or acknowledged. Native speakers commonly use this as a reply, and we use the one word, noted. For example, let's say your colleague or your subordinate sends you a message and says, I'm leaving at 3 p.m. today for a dentist appointment. So normally they work until 5 and they're leaving early. I'm leaving at 3 p.m. today for a dentist appointment. And they just send this to you on Teams or Slack or text. And then you reply back with this one word because you're a native speaker and you say, noted. They're using this to say, I acknowledge that you are leaving at 3 p.m. today. Noted. So now this person knows that it's okay for them to leave at 3 p.m. So they're acknowledging it, and at the same time, they're approving it. So it's a very powerful one word to have in your vocabulary. Let's continue. It can also help. Remember it, we're talking about exercise as the concept, and then working out as the activity that you do as part of your daily routine. It can also help improve your confidence if you stick with it for a while. So for a while, how long is this? We don't know because it's unspecified, but it sounds like more than a day, more than a week. It sounds like a longer period of time, but it is unspecified. And if you stick with it, that means you keep doing it. We use to stick with something when you want to encourage someone to keep doing something that is difficult or challenging or uncomfortable in some way. For example, recording myself speaking feels awkward, but I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to keep doing it even though there is some negativity involved. I'm going to stick with it. So make sure you stick with it as well. Let's continue. So our next practical thing, again, in the imperative, so starting with that base verb, try things that make you uncomfortable. Well, isn't this appropriate? Because I just shared an example that makes you uncomfortable. I chose the word feels awkward, but that's the same meaning as uncomfortable. Try things that make you uncomfortable, like recording yourself speaking. Stepping outside your comfort zone is, as you might expect, uncomfortable. So if you stretch your comfort zone every day, very quickly you'll have a large comfort zone and be able to feel more comfortable even when outside of it. You may know about your comfort zone, the concept. So your comfort zone, inside your comfort zone are the activities that you feel comfortable doing. And then outside your comfort zone are the activities you don't feel comfortable doing. So when it comes to working out, exercise, maybe you feel comfortable working out at home. That's inside your comfort zone. But you've always wanted to learn how to dance, but the idea of dancing in public in front of other people is outside of your comfort zone. So taking a ballroom dance class is outside of your comfort zone. So you're more likely to do this and less likely to do this. For you learning English, online lessons like you're doing now, very comfortable. Public speaking, not very comfortable. So which one are you more likely to do? Of course, this one. And that's the problem. You need to do more things outside of your comfort zone in order to develop self-confidence, according to this article. Now here, notice they say if you stretch your comfort zone. So for physical activity, exercise, when you stretch, you extend your muscles. So right now I'm stretching my neck. You can stretch your arm, which feels really good after a workout, right? But in this case, when you stretch your comfort zone, it's about expanding or extending your comfort zone, making it bigger in this case. So you can do that by adding these activities into your comfort zone, right? So that's the next practical tip. And the next one is try a new look. A look. Notice this is a noun. It's not a verb. It's not the verb to look. Right now, you're looking at the screen. But when you try a new look, it would be the clothes you wear, your hairstyle, your makeup, the jewelry or accessories you wear. All of that would represent your look, your appearance. So in this case, try a new look. So what about you? Would you be willing to try a new look, a different style, or a different appearance? How you dress can affect how other people perceive you, but it can also affect how you perceive yourself. So it sounds like they're focusing on the clothes you wear for this new look. But just remember, it could be changing your hair, changing your makeup. It doesn't just represent your clothing, but they're focusing on clothing. Now, notice I just said clothing and the article used clothes exactly the same. It doesn't matter if you say clothes or clothing, it's the same. But just note that clothing is a collective noun, so we never add an S to it, but clothes is used with the S. So you would say, I need new clothes to help me get my new look. I need new clothing. So don't forget, you add the S with clothes and no S with clothing. Wearing different clothing can prompt you to think or behave differently. Prompt is a verb that means to cause or encourage. So something prompts someone, or someone can prompt someone. So my teacher prompted me to subscribe. I encouraged you to subscribe. Or sometimes you might get a notification on your phone that says you haven't logged in 1 week. So that notification is prompting you to log in and use that app. It's encouraging you or causing you to. So wearing different clothing can encourage you, cause you, prompt you to think or behave differently. What do you think about that point? Do you agree, disagree? Share your opinion in the comments as well. If you want to feel more confident, now notice here, confident is an adjective. We've been talking about confidence, which is the noun form, and then confident is the adjective form. With the adjective form, it would either modify a noun or you would use it in the sentence structure, I am confident, with the verb to be. In this article, they used feel. You can also use feel with the adjective confident. I feel confident in this shirt. It's part of my new look, which isn't true. I've had this shirt for probably 10 years. I have confidence. This is the noun form. So confidence is a noun. It's a something. You still need a verb to complete the sentence. The verb choice is have. I have confidence. Or you would talk about it as a concept. Confidence is important. I added that example for you. If you want to be more confident as the adjective, dress the way a confident version of yourself would. So here, confident is an adjective because it modifies version of yourself. This is the noun, a version of yourself. This is implying that there are different ways that you represent yourself. One version of myself is Jennifer as your English teacher. Of course, I have another version of myself as a wife, a friend, a sister. Those are different versions of myself. So dress the way a confident version of yourself would dress if you want to complete that. This is an interesting point. What do you think about this? Share your opinion on this in the comments. And that's the end of our article. So I'll read the article from start to finish, and this time you can focus on my pronunciation. Practical ways to improve your confidence and why you should. Self-confidence is just one element in a triad of things that make up our overall confidence. Here's what you can do to boost yours. Self-confidence is your belief in how good you are at something, but it's not a measure of your actual skill. If you believe you can get your dream job if you apply, there's a chance, however small, you might get it. If you don't believe that you can get it and you don't apply, it's guaranteed that you won't. Self-confidence doesn't magically make you better at what you do, but it does prime you to take the risks necessary to achieve your goals. Start working out. Many people start working out to lose weight or build muscle, but exercise can also be a huge boost to your self-confidence. The American Psychological Association has noted that exercise can improve your mood and help combat depression and anxiety. It can also help improve your confidence if you stick with it for a while. Try things that make you uncomfortable. Stepping outside your comfort zone is, as you might expect, uncomfortable. So if you stretch your comfort zone every day, very quickly you'll have a large comfort zone and be able to feel more comfortable even when outside of it. Try a new look. How you dress can affect how other people perceive you, but can also affect how you perceive yourself. Wearing different clothes can prompt you to think or behave differently. If you want to feel more confident, dress the way a confident version of yourself would.
Do you want me to make another Learn English with the News lesson? If you do, then put absolutely in the comments. Why not? You've already said it, so say it again. Put absolutely in the comments. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And you can keep expanding your vocabulary with this lesson right now.